back, everybody. We are out here again. It is windy as heck, and we're gonna work on the Model A some more. So let me show you what we got going on here. Got this side ready to chop. When I mean that, I mean I got my measurements done. I still got to do some more welding up here on the roof. I got to do some more welding. The back window all down here needs to get welded some more. I do need to add some support braces on the inside. So we got quite a bit to do before we do even get a chance to chop it. And I do still have to measure that side out. And that side's gonna be harder than this side because of course you gotta make that side match this side, which that's okay. And I guess that's about it. We're just gonna get right into it. Alright guys, I got it measured out, and before I go ahead and, well, I actually still got to do a couple more things. I want to wrap tape on the inside too, just in case I got to do any inside cuts, just so I keep everything nice and straight. So I still want to do that, but while I am kind of got all my brain on these numbers and everything like that, I figured now is a good time to weld in some support braces and get my head clear, and then I could come back to all this measuring and everything like that, double check my work before we go ahead and chop this thing. So that's the plan now. We're gonna go ahead and weld some supports right in here in between these two back windows, and then we'll go from right there. Got some support pieces made out of that bed frame. It's all about recycling. Okay. Okay, that was kind of funny. There we go. That looks nice. Now that we got that, go ahead and start doing the final measurements on this. And I got the wood taken out of this pillar right here. There's a little bit more wood in this piece right here, but it's holding on by the old door latches and stuff like that, and all the other screws. So that's the last wood remaining in here. Eventually all this stuff will get replaced, most likely with some square tubing, just to get all that strength back in there. But I'm gonna go ahead and just get the final measurements done, and then we can go ahead and chop this thing. And we got our fingers crossed that everything's gonna go good, because this is kind of like a one-time thing. So I'm gonna, carpenter's rule, I'm gonna measure twice and cut it once. Make sure I get all the cuts nice and straight and everything like that. And we get this thing, we'll get it chopped and get it looking more like a hot rod actually. A couple more things before I go ahead and get this chopped and do my final measurements and stuff. I added this piece, and then I am going to add a piece from here to, yeah, from here to here. And then with a piece from there to there, that'll make sure that this doesn't fold in on me. I was just thinking about that, probably a good thing. And then once I do that, I also need to go through and get this stuff welded up some more, and get this stuff welded more, get the roof welded more. Basically, got to go through and do a bunch of welding. I'm not going to go through and weld it all the way up. Like I said, bad idea. You're going to warp the steel and stuff like that. But we'll go through, start tacking some more stuff up, and then we'll go through and do the final measurements to get this thing chopped. A lot of welding ahead. All right, everybody, I went through and I got all these stitch welds, or I got more stitch welds put, one about every inch. This thing's starting to look like Frankenstein with all the stitch welds. And then going all the way around the back, I got the roof with more welds. I got pretty much everywhere welded more. And then, like I said in the couple of videos ago or whatever, I got the braces in there. And now I went through and I also finished my measuring here. I went through and made sure everything was pretty much perfect as far as all the measurements go. And I was researching, you know, on how to chop these things and blah, blah, blah. And I've had some family members that have chopped them in the past and stuff like that. And, you know, you can go like this, or you can, you know, chop it here, take the 3 inches out there, come down vertically, and then cut it here at the belt line, and or stop here and then come back up, and then take the 3 inches out here and the 3 inches out here. But I don't know, to me that just seems like more welding and more work. Plus I got, you know, I have this idea maybe in the future. Like I said, this back window was out of a 30 or 31, so it's got this body line, and I think it might be kind of cool to make this body line wrap around all the way. I seen a couple cars that were customized like that. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not 100% sure, or I could just eliminate that and make it like a traditional 28, 29 Model A. But I haven't decided yet, so easiest thing for me right now is just going to be to go ahead and take the 3 inches right out of the center. And then it's not like I'm going to be welding it solid right away, so I shouldn't get too much warping there. And same with grinding. It'll all be grinded over time, so I won't get too much heat in it. And to chop it, a lot of people say you could use a Sawzall and stuff like that, but I really think the hacksaw is going to be the tool of choice for this one, just so I could get finer cuts and I'll be more controlled and everything like that. So we're just going to get right into it. We'll start cutting it with this. We'll cut the pillars with this, and then the back one most likely be with the grinder. But we're just going to get right into it and we'll start cutting it. Okay, I got a bit impatient with this. And I went ahead and just chopped it with the grinder. So I got this pillar off. It's free. I don't know if you can see that.
got that one cut. I do think I'm gonna need that for the middle pillar, but as far as the front, I got it just fine with the grinder, and the cuts came out nice and straight and everything like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that to the rest of it, and then hopefully we can get this roof off of there. Okay guys, I got the roof cut off, and this thing is officially a roadster at the moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the other 2.5 inches out of the pillars and then the back pillars, and we'll go ahead and set the roof back on here and see what she looks like. There is the 2.5 inch chop right there. You could just tell that thing looks much more proportional with the windows and the body and everything like that. It looks so much better. Got a little back window now, a little side window. I gotta cut the doors still, but that won't be nothing. But you could just tell this thing is looking so much better. It's really, in case any of you guys are wondering, I have this thing on some wheels. So that's kind of how I just turned it around. And go ahead and get this turned on its side. You guys can see it a little bit better. That looks much better. 2.5 inches came out perfect. You could just tell the roof actually looks like it fits the body now instead of sticking up all tall the way they did back in the days. But next thing I gotta do, I gotta go through and get all this stuff lined up. All this stuff is very flimsy. So I gotta go through, get all this tacked up. From my understanding, I gotta line up the back because that's basically the one that doesn't move. And then the side should line up good. And the front, if you notice, it's got a slight taper as it goes down. So the only thing I should have to do here is just make a small, make a small incision in the bottom one, and then we can pinch it and make it smaller, or we could cut this one and spread it open a little bit. Either or will be fine, and as far as I know, the rest of them don't really need that. But I could just tell you guys right now, I am so much happier with the way this thing looks, and I cannot wait to get a visor for this thing, because that's really what makes these cars. With that little visor right there, they look so much better. So I got to get one of those still, but I know this older gentleman who may have one for me, and I'm gonna wait to see if he has one. And if he does, then that'll be cool. It'll be an actual, you know, Henry Ford original, so that'll be pretty neat. And we'll go ahead and put the visor on it and stuff like that. But that's far in the future, doesn't really matter right now. Main thing really is we need to get this frame worked on. I'm about to order the boxing plates for it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna order the boxing plates first or the cross members. I'm not sure yet. The type of cross member I'm gonna go with. Move my junk right here real quick. But the type of cross member I'm gonna go with, basically the same thing, and it just comes along, well, it just comes along from right here, nice and straight. So basically with that being straight, we're gonna get a good, you know, couple inch drop at least, just because this, you know, of course this is where the spring mounts underneath there. So by raising that, we're gonna get a pretty decent drop. As far as C-notching the front, because I know you can do that right here. Once you get them lowered or whatever, if the spring is hitting the frame, you can actually C-notch it. So that's all stuff that I really need to figure out before I even, because depending on what type of cross member I get, that's where the boxing plates will be cut to. And I've decided, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just take out that center cross member. I don't really see a use for it. I think it's just gonna get in the way. I could build one that'll be much more, what would you say? Much more efficient, it'll look better, everything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And one thing I did realize, which was kind of a mess up on my part, this car, some people may not agree, but I am definitely going to put fenders on this car. I really think that's where a lot of the beauty is in them. Some people may disagree, but that's just my opinion, and this car is gonna get fenders. So, let's see, first things first, I welded the holes that hold the freaking running board brackets on. So, like an idiot, now I gotta re-drill those. But, you know, there was those cracks right there and everything like that, so they kind of had to get welded. And then I got to put the bracket back right here because there was a bracket here. There was a crack there. So I took the bracket off, but now I'm just going to have to bolt it back on because I took the original rivets off. So we're going to have to do that. We got a whole list of stuff to do for this thing. But for now, guys, that's where we're at. I would at least like to get it tacked back together just so the whole car stays nice and sturdy. So that's probably where we're gonna get into next. All right, guys, check it out. This thing is looking mean. Look at it. Okay, so I also went through, got all this stuff. Like I said, I had to do a couple relief cuts. This one, I need some more work. You can see that's lining up pretty close, but not quite perfect. So I got a little bit more work there. This side, I had to cut a couple more. Move around. To do a couple more cuts on this side, get everything to line up perfectly. But you could just tell that lines up nice and straight. Same with the front, everything is nice and straight. So we are
I guess that's gonna do it for the chop, guys. I got a bunch of welding to do on it now. And of course I still gotta do the doors and stuff, but that's where I'm gonna go ahead and leave this video off, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one.